Hello, everyone. Here we are again. This is our fourth week, if you can believe it. We're almost done with this course on leadership communication. This past week, you've been looking at social media and the powerful impact that social media can have, both positive and negative. And one of you mentioned that employers are more often looking at social media, such as Facebook, and especially LinkedIn, to learn about prospective employees. And that will become probably the trend and the practice in the future. So it's important to understand the impact that whatever you put out there on social media can affect the way you are looked at as a possible employee. So this week we have chapters 9 and 12. Chapter 9 looks at culture and how that influences and affects communication. And the video that you're to watch goes directly to that concept. It especially deals with power distance. And it's a talk that Malcolm Gladwell gave when his book Outliers was first published. And if you haven't read any of his books, I would highly recommend them. Outliers, Tipping Point, and he's written a few others as well. It's a fairly long video. It's about 50 minutes. You don't have to watch the question and answer time after that, but it would. There's some good things that come up there. But in the chapter 9, pay attention to these particular points. On page 223, there's the iceberg that shows how much of culture we see, which is very little, and how much more lies under the surface. Note the definition of culture on page 225. Then from pages 230 onward, it talks about the various dimensions of culture. And one of those, of course, will be explained in the video that you're to watch. And then 239 has some recommendations or things to keep in mind when you are communicating with people from a different culture. Those are good things to keep in mind. Then when we get to chapter 12, we begin to look at organizations and how communication takes place in organizations. And you'll find at the bottom of page 313 a discussion about the differences between leaders and managers. And this is an ongoing discussion. There's some people that say, yes, there's definitely a difference. Some people say, no, it's not quite that clear. But there are areas where managers do different things than leaders. Not all managers are leaders, but leadership is involved in managing. So take a look at that. Also on page 319, some important comments on the relationship with a superior subordinate kind of thing. Page 326, that chart there that shows typical ethical issues that will come up is important to take a look at. So those two chapters are going to be your reading, and your forum discussion will be based on, especially on chapter 9. And your assignment goes back to chapter 7 on graphics, and that's your report graphic. And remember, I only want to say a couple of things, that think of your report graphic as only a part of a report. You're only tasked with a small part of that report. And there are some scenarios for you. I highly encourage you to do some research so you can use some actual figures. However, you are free to manufacture the figures that you want for your report. If, however, you do research, you do need to cite the sources that you use. And of course, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. I look forward to reading your responses and discussion in relation to the Malcolm Gladwell video, and I look forward to what you come up with in your report graphic. So remember, that's to be a professional looking graphic, and your explanation should be clear and help people understand exactly what you're trying to say. So that's all I have for now. Hope you enjoy this week. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.